streaming here for a News AF live.
So watch your tongue, Danny. You don't want to get big brothered out here on the
Big Brother.
Yeah, where the live feed catches you saying something racy, and then it destroys the entire season and your reputation and the network's reputation. And they just
I'm not sure if
just...
it's the cameras catch you saying something racy. I think that you might have heard that wrong, Tyson.
What? Oh, okay.
It's I just assume that my Nest camera is hacked, and it actually makes me a better person.
Mm-hmm.
Right when I'm about to say horrible stuff, I'm.
Rob, how do we link all this stuff to my live feeds too?
I
just
we can. Yeah,
we'll do that in the future.
We could do that. Work on that in the
because we could put it on my Twitch and my other places too.
Yeah, I think if you just send me those the information, that we can go multiple places.
Guys, I just realized something.
Yes.
I built a brand new bolt hole.
Yes,
and that's where I'm going to report from next week. I'm done with this bolt hole. It's old news. It's
that's the spunk bunker.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm moving up to my new improved shiny bolt hole. I don't know why I'm down here. I just realized this.
What do you mean you built a new spunk bunker?
I built a new bolt hole to move out of the spunk bunker, and my new bolt hole is where I keep all my gear.
Okay.
Like it's like a man cave, but tiny. Truly a cave. Al-Qaeda has really ruined the cave vibe. So it's just like a man room.
Yeah. Okay. Lauren says her husband is working from home today. She's gonna introduce him to the podcast. No pressure.
Good.
Oh, good. I feel pressure.
Oh no, Lauren. Oh no, now I don't know if I can do this.
Honey, these are the three gentlemen that I get the news from every week.
Did she call us gentlemen?
No,
we're all qualified.
In this simulation, she did.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. You want to talk about the news? Okay, here we go.
Oh, are we starting right now?
You want to?
Well, I have to hit record on Audio City.
Okay.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. All right. Here, let's start the recording for the podcast version.
Let's see if it works.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't work still.
Rolling.
I'm flatlining.
What a tease, Tyson.
Fixed.
Okay.
I can run it but there's no like jagged lines going on it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to let that might be a good issue to Google. Catalina Audacity. Okay.
Should I hit stop?
But yeah, you might as well. That you guys sound good. We'll just record through I'm recording you guys.
We do.
Okay.
But this makes me sad because I know how professional it sounds when we do it the other way.
Shout out to Kemi, who's watching us live here this morning.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes, Kemi from Big Brother, Tyson.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'm not joking. We have a real life Big Brother person.
Celebrity. We have a celebrity tuning in.
Yes, celebrity who's watching us. Okay.
But how can he or she tune in when she's on Big Brother right now?
Big Brother's over.
Fine.
It's not work.
Maybe I believe you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that our Facebook group, I'm not able to stream there this morning.
That's where we have all our best fans.
I know. I don't know why it's not linked up. It's not linked up. We'll post the video there after the fact.
Oh, okay. Look at Nightbot got Jay Plord for having too many capitalizations.
Yeah,
in their comments.
The Nightbot is very sensitive. The Nightbot doesn't like shouting.
Tyson, out of touch. Nice try, David. You're out of touch.
Digital shouting.
This is what this becomes? Is whoever insults me, I just insult them back with the same insult.
Yeah.
Nice try.
Okay. All right.
Those are great playground tactics.
Yes. Let's go. Let's start this up.
Let's get started.
Okay. Here we go. Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Rob Cesternino back again to talk with you about the week's most interesting news stories here for the last week of October 2019 here on News AF.
If a story is buzzing like it's on crystal meth, it's about to be News AF. If the same old news makes you bored to death, it's time for some News AF. Actual, factual news.
Yes, that's right. News AF here. Halloween week. Very spooky time of year. And for a man who is not afraid of anything, drinking from his News AF coffee mug, Mr. Tyson Apostle. Tyson, how are you?
I am great. Always great. And I got this News AF mug.
Yeah.
From Run It Up Reno.
Yeah.
Our friend Kathy. That's right. I knew her name and I remembered her name. And then when I knew I was going to be put on the spot to remember her name,
me.
I was testing you. So Kathy made this, and I have to say the coffee tastes a little bit more delicious in this mug, but maybe it's also because I added extra sugar.
Okay. A man who always adds extra sugar to this podcast.
Almost too sweet.
Deni Monday. Deni, how are you?
Tyson, guess who got me this?
Kathy?
Christoph.
Oh, that fucking guy.
Hot chocolate. I've got my hot chocolate in here. Tastes even more delicious from this.
Is that really from
Chinese mug?
From Christoph?
Is that really from Christoph?
It is, yeah.
What? Oh.
Yes. So he's buying you presents now and you're accepting them? This is some bullshit right here, dude.
That's how best friends are built.
So wait, list your best friends in a list based from best friend to not best friend.
Oh boy, that's going to be awkward, Tyson. Why don't we talk afterwards?
Okay. Is it awkward for me or awkward for Christoph?
I don't want to say because that'll give away the list.
Okay. I almost got you.
You almost walked right into that one. Okay. Yeah. Tyson, this week on Survivor, there was an Applebee's reward, and correct me if my memory serves me, I feel like that you have a classic Applebee's story. Is that true?
I had a classic Applebee's story, but with the years and time, it's dimmed a little bit.
Yes.
I can go into it. Do you want me to try and summarize it?
Yeah. Could you give us the summary of your Applebee's experience?
Well, I mean, maybe Applebee's is a future sponsor of this podcast, but they would also appreciate honesty, I'm assuming. So me and my friends, we used to go out to dinner every single night. I don't even think Deni was there this night. Deni, were you there the night we had to go to Applebee's? He's not even answering. He's so mad.
He's so mad.
So we were deciding where to go. We wanted to go to this Indian house, this Indian restaurant. Bombay House is what it's called. And one of my buddies was like, "Oh, I already ate. I don't want to eat there." And I was like, "Yeah, but you already ate. So why are you even choosing?" He's like, "I want something small," and they don't have something small there. And I was like, "Yeah, but you already ate dinner. You're already satiated. You don't get to even have any input on this." But he was adamant about not going there. So then we couldn't decide where to go. So then my buddy was like, "Jump in my car. I'm going to choose where we go." And he shows up at Applebee's knowing that everybody there would be displeased with Applebee's. And so I'm fuming because I wanted to go to the Indian restaurant. So I take my friend's handicap pass out of his thing, jam it down my pants, hoping that he gets a ticket for it as we go inside. And like, I'm about to, let's just like walk away, just like walk like 10 miles to get out of the whole situation. But we go inside and I'm like yelling at the guy who called an audible on the entire night. And the manager comes over and is just like, "Can I help you?" This is in the waiting room. I was like, "Not unless you can like make this whole experience better. You can't, because this place is like, I just, insulted the whole thing." And then we sit down and I go around the room. There's like 8 of us there. And there's one girl there that had never hung out with any of us. And she was there for the first time. And there's like 9 of us in a huge argument. And I'm point at each person. I go around the entire table and tell everybody why it's their fault we're there. And one guy, I'm just like, "You already ate. You didn't get a choice, but you were adamant because you have to be adamant about everything." And I go to the next person. I'm like, "And you always just do what he wants to do. So you're like, that's why you're at fault. And you're too big of a coward to say anything. So that's why you're at fault." And yeah, I went around the entire table. It took me like 20 minutes. It was quite the spectacle. And then I refused to eat because, I've got some morals to uphold.
It's hard to reach your food from that giant high ivory seat you sit on.
It really is, dude. I didn't want to get the ivory seat dirty either.
No.
So anyways, that was the whole thing, and it was quite a spectacle. And I think everybody in that restaurant felt ashamed for eating there that night because they could hear me belittling everything about all of it.
And why wasn't Deni there?
Deni, why weren't you there?
He
Maybe
was
you were married. He might have been married. He was one of the earlier adopters of marriage in our friend group.
I got out quick.
Yeah.
Not really, but
not quick.
Not quick.
I mean, at like 30.
I wouldn't have gone to Applebee's, so Tyson and I would have ended up at the Indian restaurant together.
Well, we didn't know that we were going to Applebee's. Willie tricked us into going to Applebee's.
Willie. The old
switcheroo. Willie. Yeah. Okay. All right. But you would have no problem going there now, right, Tyson?
To Applebee's?
Yeah.
I mean, are they paying us? What's the... Give me the premise and I'll tell you.
You haven't eaten in about 17 days.
I feel like my morals would still stop me from going to Applebee's.
Yeah.
Maybe not on national TV.
Deni, does it make you more excited or less excited to watch Survivor if you found out that sometimes the contestants get to go to a makeshift Applebee's?
That would be exciting.
Yeah.
It is fun.
It would be like, this is what it takes to get people to eat at Applebee's is you have to starve them for a week or two.
They get real excited then.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. We have so much going on right now to talk about. A lot of big stories. And I guess we have to start with a story that's really national news at this hour. The story of now, Deni, I know you're an avid sportsman. Do you follow the World Series?
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
He didn't.
Every pitch, every stroke of the bat.
Yeah. Well, some World Series fans made headlines this week as two female attendees, I believe it was three, attendees of the World Series got into hot water after they ended up flashing the cameras and potentially the Houston Astros on national television the other night.
So by Instagram model, they mean a girl who has an Instagram account, right?
Well, so I did some research for this podcast.
Oh, I bet you did.
And these women do appear to be very popular Instagram figures.
Yeah, if they're flashing at World Series, of course they're going to be popular on Instagram. That's like,
yeah,
man,
they flash their way to the top.
Yeah,
I believe they had a following prior to the one of the women in question. Hey, Lauren Summer has 1.6 million Instagram followers.
Yeah, but what does she do? Mostly like flashing stuff, or what's like her MO on Instagram?
They do flashing. They did flash outside the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That was one of the things they did. They do have a magazine called a very, very classy name, Shag Mag.
Now, is it actually a magazine? It's a digital magazine.
I don't know what it is.
That's
was
classy.
Sitting next to me when I was doing my research. So it's classy, and then to top it all off, to make it to make it look glossy, they've claimed that it's all for breast cancer awareness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and
Dude,
so
this is so annoying. Fine. And you know what? I hate people like this because in this day and age, I can't just go around flashing my milk bladders and get in.
No one would want to see them.
Nobody would want to see them. And then if I flash anything else, dude, that's prison time for me.
Yeah. No. Well, what if it was for testicular cancer awareness?
I don't think that matters, dude.
Well, listen. That you're scoffing, but that here is some video that was posted to Instagram of the Instagram models right after the incident.
Yo, we just flashed the whole World Series Game 5, baby. Shag Mag for life. Breast cancer. Donate to breast cancer. Cancer. Save the boobies. Save the babies. Shag Mag for life, baby. Woo!
Donate to breast cancer.
I mean, that Tyson, they have a very positive message Donate to breast cancer.
It seems as if breast cancer, the whole breast cancer angle was tagged on right at the last minute because donate to breast cancer. Are you donating to breast cancer itself to cause more breast cancer? I felt like that was like a last minute decision. Like, hey, how can we how can we package this in a good way? There's two things about this video that really surprised me.
Go on.
Oh, first of all, they kept saying that they didn't know if the pitcher stopped his wind up because he saw the boobies. Nobody asked him. I'm still confused. Like, wouldn't that be the first question you ask the Astro pitcher?
If these women came out and were like, hey, we are huge Washington Nationals fans, and that the Nationals, they forgot how to hit. We had to step up our game. And just like, and you see like in the NBA, like if you go to like a basketball game, there's like a guy shooting a free throw and people are like waving all these things. And look, if these women had a great idea of, hey, we've got to distract Garrett Cole somehow. Okay?
I actually have more respect for them if that was their case. They're just
they don't
hardcore team supporters.
Yeah. I don't even know if they're Nationals fans.
The other thing is that, okay, one, I'd like to know if the pitcher was distracted because he does stop right when that happens. Two, nobody next to the girls knows what's going on.
No,
like none of those guys.
Those are expensive seats that they were in, Dani.
Yeah, nobody is paying attention.
Very focused on the game.
The one girl has her assets out for like 10 seconds. That's not a flash. That is full on exposure. And like nobody notices that they're just hanging out. That's why I would.
They about to see some tatas today.
Yeah. If any of those guys had turned around, they would have gotten the show of their life, but instead they were watching the pitcher.
Yeah. Also, I feel like that the women from the video footage that I reviewed, it seems like that it would be an easy thing to coordinate. I feel like that one shirt's up, one shirt's down.
Yeah, it wasn't
I feel like that they sort of like needed to like just like when we do the clap before the episode to synchronize, like 1, 2, 3. You know, I don't know. Did they rehearse this, Tyson?
I think they went in with the idea. I mean, I would assume that was their plan the whole time in getting tickets to the World Series.
Getting those tickets.
What?
Those are serious tickets.
Yeah. And now I'm ashamed to admit that I went to a Utah Jazz game once.
Oh, yes. What did you do?
There's no shame in that, Tyson.
And my buddy, me and one of my good friends, were sitting in the stands, and the Jumbotron came on to us because we'd both had long hair and we were like headbanging to, they were playing Metallica. And the second I saw us on the Jumbotron, I reached over and ripped my friend's shirt off of him. And then he was like waving it around and headbanging. And then everywhere we went after the game, like we went out to eat and other places, and everybody came up to him and was like, hey, dude, you're the guy from the Jumbotron. I made my friend famous.
Yeah.
I guess that's all it takes.
Right.
The removal of a shirt.
Yeah.
Not as famous as Julia Rose, who does have a link on her Instagram to a Patreon where she has 9,300 patrons.
Great.
Guys, let's move on to a story that is less irritating.
For all of us.
But then so Major League Baseball stepped in, and they were not happy that this happened at the World Series, and they sent a letter to Lauren Summer and said, hey, Lauren Summer, on October 27, 2019, you attended World Series Game 5 at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. During the game, you violated the fan code of conduct by exposing yourself during the 7th inning in order to promote a business. Now, if you expose yourself to not promote a business,
that's a good question.
Tyson, okay?
That's okay. MLB rules, it's fine.
Support for the team, Rob, like you said.
But now everybody's their own business with social media, so it's like everybody's going to be a little guilty unless you don't have any social media. Like we could get Dani out there flashing all day long, unless he had mediocre amateur tattooed on his small of his back.
I only flash in support of people and causes. I never do it for self-promotion ever.
You are hereby banned from all Major League Baseball stadiums and facilities indefinitely.
Nice.
She probably doesn't care.
I bet she doesn't care. A bunch of stadiums still.
What do they got? They got your face. Although facial recognition is getting pretty good. They pretty soon they'll be able to just plug in a face and then scan the crowd and pick her out. Have the drones come down and snatch her and drag her out to the parking lot and drop her on her own car.
Yeah. Although
they wouldn't want to do that because I know exactly her play. When the drone starts coming down,
Flash.
She pops her shirt off and then it grabs her without a shirt and then parades her around in a circle around the stadium.
Yeah. Yeah. Lauren Summer has a Patreon also. 2 tiers, a $20 tier and a $150 a month tier.
They didn't even go for $1. They're just like straight to $20.
Yeah. $150 a month tier.
$150 a month.
How many Patreons does she have?
I don't think it doesn't say.
Are they coming to your house and like making you breakfast at $100?
No, dude, they're sending them more breast cancer
I know what they're
awareness
doing.
videos.
I'm aware of how the world works.
Yeah. There you go. So, all right. Will they go to an NFL game next? What's the next move for the World Series flashers?
All of the above. They've got NBA, NHL.
The more national TV, the better.
But should they stick to sports, or should they go to the Democratic debates?
Yes, good. Well, all you're doing is providing them with the list.
No, it has to be live. Is that live enough?
That's live.
Was this on TV? Did people see naked breasts on TV?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So anything that's live.
Tyson didn't review the homework.
No, I didn't.
We gave him.
So if we invited him to a Survivor finale, or do you think the 30-second delay will get him?
Tyson, how about the world whatever of poker?
World
Series of Poker. That's on a delay.
Oh, what about golf?
Pickleball championships.
How about the next Tiger
Pickleball
Woods
camps,
golf game? He's going to break that record. That'd be a good one to be at in Flash.
Okay.
How about cricket? How about
so we should be the advisors to these guys so that we can get a chunk of their
no. Rob should have
money.
Rob should have a $500 tier on Patreon, and it should provide a downloadable list of places to flash your breasts at.
Okay.
We want Rob to make some money, not that.
But only these 2 girls would be paying for that tier.
Yeah, that's pretty good though.
That is pretty good.
In addition to the World Series, I guess that this is the gimmick for these women, that they've been all over the place, going to different places. She was on an amusement park ride, a roller coaster. So they're all
breast cancer.
I mean,
if you got it and you're making money off of it and you don't have any shame about doing it, then
don't. What are you about to say next?
Then I guess I don't know.
It's still not okay.
Do it.
Because you're invading everybody else's space with your actions. That's the problem. Is that you're going to popular places where people have come to see one thing, and now you're irritating them possibly by doing something else, something antisocial. You know what I mean? It's like, do it on your Patreon to the people that pay the appropriate amount, but don't come out to sport events where
luckily, Deni, that World Series games start way too late for any young children to be watching. So Major League Baseball has
they go on and on forever. Kids probably fall asleep.
The 7th inning of a Major League Baseball World Series game is happening well after every child in the country.
You're right. You're right. That's
do you think they strategically planned that? And also,
in case any flashers show up.
Well, I mean, did the flashers plan to do it in the 7th inning when it was late enough?
Yeah, because that's when,
But let me be very clear. I would prefer this over the guy that strips down naked and runs around in the field any day, obviously.
But what about the guy that runs around in just tighty whities?
Yeah.
No, that's more entertaining, especially in the football environment, because then you can see a football player nail the guy. That's always awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Oh man, yeah. Well, I just got to figure out a way that I can make.
I've already told you how to make tons of money, Tyson.
How?
Mukbang.
No.
No.
Let's not go down the mukbang rabbit hole.
I am pushing the mukbang on Tyson. That's his Tyson. You could do
That's my calling.
Yeah.
$1 million a year on mukbang.
You think so?
Yeah, and you don't even have to show. You could show your breasts if you want to during your mukbang.
I mean, they're going to be breasts pretty soon if I
keep going.
Yeah.
Well, then you'll have something to flash, a little
Yeah.
flesh to share with the world.
Just in summary, that the part that I find offensive about this whole situation is just the do what you want to do, but then don't say like breast cancer. This wasn't a noble cause here. There was no like real call to action. From what I can see, it doesn't seem like that there's been a charitable donation that has been made to breast cancer awareness. So if you want to say, hey, this is the human form, it's beautiful no matter what, that you guys are a bunch of prudes, free the nipple, any of those things, okay, sure, let's go with that. But just don't be like breast cancer, woo.
Well said, Rob. Well said.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Because there are people that are out there actually doing work for charitable causes, and I think that this is a little bit insulting. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's mention a story that's going on here. Now, Dani, have you ever watched videos sped up? Have you ever altered the speed of the videos that you watch?
Not videos, but obviously podcasts. This is and books, very popular feature.
I'll watch videos in on Marco Polo, the app.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch videos sped up.
What is Marco Polo?
Chat. Marco Polo is a video chat app that you can send videos to and from each other, but it's only videos. Video messaging, and you can do groups and stuff. It's pretty
really
fun.
Stupid, Rob.
It's fun.
Yeah, stupid.
Rob,
one thing I have done,
yes,
since I hate it, my wife does Marco Polo and it annoys me. I don't want to talk about it. Is on Netflix, I will skip. So I don't play quickly, but I will skip 10 seconds. So that's probably the same thing, right?
Yeah. I guess so. If you skim through, is that what you do?
Yeah. So sometimes on YouTube, you've got that 10-second button and a couple other video things. And sometimes I'll sit there and hit the 10 seconds to get to a relevant part. So yes.
Yeah. So Netflix is playing around with the idea of potentially allowing its viewers to be able to watch its shows on a faster speed. And comedian, producer, and director Judd Apatow has said, hold up, bro. Slow down. Do not mess with the speed of our shows, and is now calling on Netflix to abandon plans for this feature, Tyson.
I also kind of agree that you should not, but also, why does it matter? If you're in it for the art and the artistic qualities of said production, then you're not going to watch it at 2x anyway.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just trying to get through all the Game of Thrones so you can be relevant in conversations.
Yeah. But why shouldn't I be allowed to do this? Because you know what? Here's Judd Apatow. He went on Twitter and he said, no, at Netflix, no. Don't make me have to call every director and show creator on earth to fight you on this. Save me the time. I will win, but it will take a ton of time. Don't F with our timing. We give you nice things. Leave them as we intended them to be seen.
I get Judd. I get where he's coming from.
No, I don't, Dani. I don't. Because Rob, you know what? That no person on earth listens to me talk at my normal speaking speed. Why does Judd Apatow get to put his foot down? I go places in public, Dani, and I'm talking to people and they tell me, oh, Rob, what is wrong with you? You sound like you are suffering from brain injury. I'm not used to hearing you talk so slowly. Why does Judd Apatow get to only be heard at the speed he gets to want to be heard at?
I think that, first of all, it's not him. You're not just hearing him. You're watching his art that he created, that he specifically edited to be at a certain pace, the punchlines to be in certain places.
What about our art, Dani?
Well, obviously you're irritated. So it sounds like you would support this if it wasn't already happening to you.
No, I'm busy. I'm busy. I want to watch your show at 1.5x.
Okay. All right. Well, It sounds like you're going to have the opportunity to do that. All I'm saying is I can kind of understand where Judd's coming from.
I can't listen to podcasts 2x speed.
Yeah, because it sounds like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Exactly.
I'm with you on that, Tyson. I've never listened to any podcast.
I have to listen to them at regular pace.
Yeah. I've done it at 2x.
But if people want the option and they're the ones that are missing out on the art and the punchline and that's fine with me. Maybe the brains will switch to add the timing anyways, because
not for anything, Judd Apatow, and I respect your work, but you know what?
All of it. Do you respect all of his work?
I respect all his work. I think I'm still gonna get This Is 40 at 1.3 speed. I think I'm still gonna get it. It's not gonna be like, whoa,
Rob.
The acting was terrible. Everything was so rushed.
I would watch all of Rachel's shows on a speedier setting, and then watch all of my shows on a regular setting.
Tyson, you could probably Tyson should every time she walks out of the room, make it go like a 1/10 of an X.
Oh, that's
faster.
Good. That's
and
really
then
good.
she's like the frog in the pot of boiling water. You're watching all her shows at 2x eventually.
Tyson just brought up a great point. Now, not only will the argument be over what movie to watch, but what speed to watch it at. It's just now you're going to be arguing with your wife. What should we watch? What speed do we want to watch it at? What points do we stop at?
I think it's going to be too fast, and we're going to be like, hey, rewind that again, and let's watch it at 3x.
Let's watch it again. Let's enjoy it again. Hey, Judd Apatow, here, beat the system. Make everybody act slow.
Dude, that's what's cool. I have a relevant story to this.
Yeah.
My dad owns a construction company, and when I was a teenager, I used to work in the summers for him. And one house had a time-lapse camera set up in a tree to time-lapse the entire construction of their house, and it would only record from noon to 2 in the afternoon every day. And then it was going to time-lapse it all, so the house just looks like a and so one day from noon to 2, I spent a full 2 hours walking in as slow a motion as I possibly could across the entire span of the camera, so that I would be walking normal through the whole thing as the house is like going up around me, and I'm just like one guy, I just like walking normal speed. In my mind, it was so perfect.
You were time traveling.
Yeah. And then in the winter, the snow came and destroyed the camera, and nobody ever got to see that footage.
Oh no!
So I never knew if it even worked or not. But oh man, in my mind, it was so perfect.
Okay, so we'll see if we ever end up getting that Tyson footage. We'll see if Netflix ever ends up giving us the feature to watch shows faster. Because you know what? I can do it on a lot of different apps already. I can do this on YouTube. I can do this on.
You can watch YouTube faster.
Oh yeah. I mean that's just like a drop down to and then there's a bunch of apps that I have. Guess what? Judd Apatow. I have an app that if I watch Netflix on my computer, I can do this already.
Wow. Rob is so passionate about this subject.
He really is.
Why shouldn't I be allowed to watch a movie at a faster speed if I want to?
Because you're manipulating someone else's art. But if you pay for the art, you should be able to do what you want.
You know what else I could do? I could go to a museum, Tyson, and I could look at a painting with a kaleidoscope. Oh, like, is Van Gogh going to come out? That's not how I wanted you to see it.
Yes, maybe Van Gogh would.
I could cross my eyes and look at a painting.
Uh-huh.
Do whatever I want.
That's true.
Make it easy.
Well, now we know.
What you make the art, let people enjoy it however they want.
Yep. Or not enjoy it. That's up to them.
Right. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. You're more passionate about this than I am, so I'm going to take your side.
Yeah. It's hard to argue with Rob right now because he's just going to beat you down.
Brimmed with
well thought out.
Brimming with passion.
He's so passionate.
Get off your high horse on this stuff. Come down from the ivory chair, that ivory throne that Tyson left at Applebee's.
Ivory throne.
Yeah, I lent it to Judd Apatow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, if we could have sped that
Applebee's going to say, "Oh, please don't eat our loaded fajitas so fast. We designed them for you to eat them slow."
Yeah, no, the timing.
Don't
the
eat
timing
it so
isn't
fast.
right.
That's not what we wanted. Okay.
You're right. Fine.
Tyson, if I was to tell you that narcissists were happier than people who weren't, would you believe that?
100%.
Yeah.
Let's ask these two girls that flashed at the World Series. They're happy.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think this is
maybe they
narcissism
could
that
be
has
in
it. This is infinite, deep sadness that these women are filled with, and they're trying to fill that void with anything.
Well, I think they should get in some Judd Apatow movies, and then once they show up on the screen, everybody will be slowing down and going back to regular speed.
Yeah, that is true.
You never know. Like, just have them like lingering in the background. You don't know what they're going to do. All right. But yes, narcissists, according to a study, are horrible but happier.
Yes.
You think this study was done by narcissists?
No, it all makes sense. Why wouldn't they be? Because they do not give a shit, and they just think they're better than everybody. It's like me, but even just like one step even worse than me.
So the next bit of research is, do narcissists make everybody around them more miserable?
Correct. Yes.
Like they suck the life from you, like essence from the Gelfling.
So they're stealing all the happiness.
They're stealing
Life
happiness.
force. Yeah, they're sucking it.
Yeah, there's only so much
Sucking
happiness.
your life
The narcissist
force.
is like a happiness vacuum, and everyone they meet, they just suck it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think all narcissists are happy. I think they're happy. For example,
Yes. Tell us, Tyson.
Donald Trump. He could be a narcissist. That could be argued, correct?
He was at that World Series game also.
I think that's one of the main components of what are her names? Kellyanne's husband. He spends all his time claiming that he's a narcissist.
So if Donald Trump is a narcissist, I think there was a point where he was fully happy being a narcissist when he was like running The Apprentice and he was famous and people didn't like see him in the light they see him now. And now that like half the country is calling him a wackadoodle, I think he's probably less happy, where he's just like, oh, dude,
I didn't. Saying.
Yeah,
so seems less happy. Seems less happy.
Yeah, I think if you're a secret narcissist, where it's not like common knowledge that you are a narcissist because you're holding it together or seen in some skewed light or something, I think you're happy. But I think when you're then outed as a narcissist and the majority of people recognize you as such, I think your happiness starts to wane at that point.
There were two types of narcissism that were studied in this or in a study. There's vulnerable narcissists who are more likely to be defensive and view the behavior of others as hostile. And then there is grandiose narcissists, which have an overinflated sense of importance with a preoccupation with status and power. And I think that those are the people that are happier.
Those are happy. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the first one again?
Vulnerable narcissists.
And what's the description of vulnerable narcissists?
People that are more defensive and view the behavior of others as hostile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, I agree, because I think there's some level of unawareness and also just not giving a shit.
Right. Because I think that a lot of people walk around of like, oh, they have like a lower self-esteem, and they're sort of like, I suck, everything I do stinks, nobody likes me, and that's sort of like the opposite of this. Whereas people like, everybody loves me, I'm awesome, everything I do is great. So I mean, I guess it's not that bad as long as nobody's getting hurt in the process,
and no one ever pops your bubble of narcissism.
Yeah, so you're saying that should the narcissist bubble be popped, then they sort of like end up with that realization that, oh wait, maybe I do stink.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
could
my
be bad.
theory. So we need to start a Patreon account that goes around and lets narcissists know that they're narcissists, as long as we never tell them myself
or
that I'm a narcissist.
The opposite. We need to convert depressed people to
narcissism.
Yes.
Or we just pay that guy to go say yikes on all the narcissists posts.
Why do you want to bring the narcissists down?
Keep them up because they're happy.
Yeah, you got to keep them up.
So we're creating a full, I think, and with social media, we're creating an entire generation and generations behind us of narcissists.
Yeah.
And I
don't think
mean,
we're creating narcissists with social media.
Themselves.
I think that we're discovering them easier because I think most people on social media are very prone to the trolling and everything. But those people who aren't, those are the ones where you're like, okay, now we know. Now we know who the narcissists are because they're huge and they're not prone to all the horrible criticism that comes with being on social media.
And this is a interesting add-on here in this article that we get from the Daily Mail. If you believe in conspiracy theories, Dani, you're also more likely to be a narcissist. People who doubt the moon landings are more likely to be selfish and attention-seeking as well, according to this study.
For sure, dude. I get that because that's like why flat earthers are. It's the same. It's like choose something ridiculous.
Live in a bubble.
Get some attention. I do like what Liv H here says. A good narcissist would never put their bubble in a place it could get popped.
That's right.
I like that.
Maybe that's what we need to do is some coaching for narcissists to keep them narcissists.
So the thing to do when you meet someone new for the first time is start off right away with, is the moon landing real or was it faked? Just get that out of the way so you know what kind of person you're dealing with.
Yes. Very good.
That's great. Now we've got a test we can use whenever meeting someone new to out the narcissist.
Yeah, I think also probably people that are big conspiracy people are also the people like, hey, I know better than, listen, wake up, sheeple. Like, you're smarter than everybody. I think that's also tied into being a narcissist.
All those self-help people out there, right? Who claim to know how to fix your life while their life is spiraling out of control.
But they may not think that. So
no, they don't know that. But everybody watching is like, wow, this guy is going to tell me how to live my life while they're just like, their life is absolute chaos.
Okay. Speaking of absolute chaos, Dani, we talked last week about the world's scariest haunted house.
It was everywhere.
Tennessee.
It was the biggest story on the news after, of course, we covered it for the last week. I saw it on every news site every day.
It's everywhere. We broke the story of the world's scariest haunted house with the 40-page waiver. And so people are up in arms, and there is a movement now to shut down the world's scariest haunted house, Tyson, including a change.org petition to shut down McCamey Manor. Has 37,020. I'm watching the signatures are just going up to 37,031, 37,034. People are signing it left and right. Shut down the manor.
You know what? I'm going to go to the World Series and I'm going to moon. And when they ask me why I mooned everyone, I'm going to say to shut down the haunted house.
No, send the Instagram flashers to the haunted house.
Why? That's just going to bring more good press.
Good press? No. Once once this guy bans them, then
that's right. Wasn't he? He was extremely religious, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
He'll shut the whole thing down and protest himself.
The whole thing.
Yep.
Protest with nudity.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what the change.org petition says. The McCamey Manor is advertised as, quote unquote, an extreme haunt, when in fact it is not a haunted house. It's a torture chamber under disguise. They do screenings to find the weakest, most easily manipulated people to do the haunt. And if Russ doesn't think you're easily manipulated, then you're not allowed to go. He uses loopholes to get out of being arrested. Previously, no safe word was allowed. He changed that, but there's been reports that the torture continues even when people repeat the safe word for several minutes. One man was tortured so badly, he passed out multiple times. Workers only stopped because they thought that they killed him. Signing the waiver literally means nothing. It's seriously just torture porn. McCamey Manor is a shame to all haunted houses and needs to be shut down. People don't pay money to get in, which is technically the loophole. They're doing it for fun. There's also reports of a sexual assault at the manor. That's not good. No. There's reports that he hires workers with violent histories and sex offenders. He uses needles to inject people with drugs.
All of these things do sound scary.
Shut it down. Shut it. We were saying shut it down before we even knew all this.
By the way, these are just allegations. We need to see photographic evidence. We need to see
that big
firsthand
haunted
testimony.
house is trying to take down McCamey Manor?
Well, part of the problem is he's throwing everything against the wall to see what sticks in these accusations. Like he started off, okay, yeah, that doesn't sound right, preying on the weak. I think he's like, they're using needles and injecting people with experimental drugs.
All right, we need to send a operative in there. Deni, are you willing to go down there?
No, even if the needle isn't going to be injected into me, I don't want to see any needles near me.
I think you need to.
No, that's enough. I'm out.
Tell Christoph to fire up the helicopter. Chart a course for Tennessee.
Okay, I'm texting him right now.
Yeah.
Good.
He's not a helicopter pilot, but I'm sure he'll try.
Well, who flew the helicopter when you went to Alaska?
That's a different person.
A different friend. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that with this haunted house, I agree it should be shut down. The guy does sound like he is capable of all of these things. When we read it last week,
is he a narcissist, Deni?
Oh, I would say for sure.
And even this week, when I was thinking about it, I was like, how come nobody's gotten through that haunted house? There has to be something more to it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was claiming it was that he was
torturing people.
No, that he was what's it called when you have like the spirals going on in your eyes and you're like hypnotizing.
Yeah.
He was claiming that he was hypnotizing people. But that didn't seem right to me because I don't think, even if he was the world's greatest hypnotist, A, is that even really a thing? And B, if it is, not everybody's going to be susceptible to that.
Yeah.
Well, he's, like it said, he is using the applications to weed out the strong, to pick on the weak. That actually to me is the most realistic sounding part of the story. I could see that being the way that you get it so no one goes through, is you handpick these people who seem like they'll just crumble under the terror.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you expect from a place with a 40-page
waiver? Yeah, I would stay out of there, but people are still going. I think that this is good publicity for him.
Yeah, that's the problem with all these stories. We read about these people who we wish we could just, after their action, hide them from everybody else, right? Because they're so obnoxious. And then all it does is feed this thing that we hate or we don't enjoy or we don't want to see get popular. We just can't stop ourselves. We have to talk about it.
Well, what do you do, Deni, when there's a torture house going on? Is it better to ignore it?
We're News AF. We're an unbiased news organization. All right. We just report the news. What people do with it, I guess we're not responsible for. But all
right, let me give you a little bit of a palate cleanser, a happier story.
Please.
Deni, let me be the first to wish you a happy National Cat Day.
Yeah, my cat's somewhere around here. Gosh, I just don't like that cat.
Deni, it's National Cat Day.
Oh, I'll tell my wife and kids. They'll all be stoked to hear. But this cat, it knows.
Would you get another cat?
It knows that I don't like it. I don't. They want another cat. That would just be crazy. 2 cats in one house?
It is National Cat Day.
So you're saying I should get one today to surprise them for National Cat Day?
Yeah.
You know what? Dogs, that we had that scientific study come out, and I heard it repeated yesterday on the news about dogs helping people live longer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we read that story. I think it showed that people who own cats don't live as long, right?
Yes, correct.
Or they weren't as happy. Yeah, it was one of those.
Not as happy.
So what we're celebrating today with cats is unhappiness. In a way.
I think that your happiness is stolen by the cat, so the cat can be more happy. The cat is really a narcissist. Yeah.
Oh, the cat is the narcissist. And yes, it is a happiness vacuum when it comes into the room.
And you have one of those fancy Bengal cat things, right?
It's not fancy. It's still just cat.
What's it called?
But yes, it is a Bengal cat.
Yeah.
A Bengal cat.
It is a Bengal cat. Yeah, I just call it cat.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to call it by its name.
Wow. Do you think that's psychologically damaging to the cat to do that?
Well, that's why the cat doesn't like me. That's why it looks me right in the eyes when it walks over to Liz, as if to be like, somebody likes me. And sits on her lap, and I'm like, okay, whatever, cat. Yeah, National Cat Day. Tyson, maybe you should get a cat.
Should I?
So you can know my pain.
We already have a tortoise.
I wish I would have bought a tortoise.
Yeah, it's easier to take care of.
That's
Way
no
easy.
nonsense.
And then in
makes
the winter,
everybody
you just
happy.
put it in the inside for it to hibernate for the winter.
Does
That's
it?
nice.
You mean like hibernate? Like it just goes into its shell and you don't see it for 6 months?
No, it's a partial hibernation, so it's like definitely slows way down. You'd put it in your basement.
It's slower?
And it gets even slower.
Oh, don't tell Judd Apatow.
Yeah, you put it in your basement with a little food and water, and check on it once in a while.
I will say this: if time travel becomes possible in the future, I will use that technology to travel back in time and tell myself not to buy a cat
And to buy a tortoise.
Yeah, to buy a tortoise. I would do that.
The story of
once you get a tortoise big enough, it will mow your lawn for you. Not with the lawnmower; it'll just graze on the grass.
Yeah. I'd do that even if traveling back in time required me to be naked. I would still do that.
You would still time travel?
Yeah.
What if the only portal was in behind the home plate at the World Series?
Is that what the women at the World Series should have said? That we were just trying to travel back in time to tell the Nationals that to avoid the Astros in the World Series?
You have to admit it's pretty cool when the Terminator and that other guy emerge because it's obvious that something awesome just happened. It's got like that the electricity. Yeah. I would do that. Electricity's coming out, and then it like kind of melts that bowl in the ground because it's a circular bubble. And then this guy emerges all naked and ripped. That's a pretty cool entrance, even if it was behind home plate.
That was your favorite part?
World Series. Yeah, I always stopped Terminator after that part.
That's the only part you watch?
That's the best part, dude. It cuts into that semi-trailer.
That's cool.
Then I'm like, hey, I've seen the best part of this movie.
We have an update on a story that pre-news AF. Frafa wants to know. It's been 10 years since Balloon Boy. He was back on TV this morning. Tyson, do you remember Balloon Boy?
No.
Oh, you will once Rob tells you about the story.
Yeah, the story of the metallic UFO-like hot air balloon, and the kid
he went up in the sky.
He went up in the sky, and it was like national news stories before we had like 24/7 political coverage on TV.
Okay,
they used to cover things like this on cable news.
Oh,
yeah, Balloon Boy was the happy days of news, right?
That was the happy days.
By the way, I remember that story, and when the article
I was watching it live.
Yeah, I remember that too. And when it showed the footage of the helicopter chasing it, when I looked at the balloon yesterday, though. I don't remember it being so enclosed. Like there's a basket that's the same color as the balloon.
It was a basket.
Yeah. And I thought, I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
Like, it really does look like a UFO.
Although, we have an update on Balloon Boy here. Let's go.
He's still seeking fame.
Yes. So
good.
I don't know if the experience in the balloon changed Balloon Boy. Balloon Boy's got like a really interesting look also. Can we let me see if I can go.
Well, while you try to get that, I will say that I read a backstory, and that the backstory is that family is very fame hungry. Obviously, I mean, they're as fame hungry as the World Series girls or the haunted house guy. This is pre-viral options, and this family was like one of the original World Series flasher type people.
Yeah. And so there was some question about did they put him in the balloon? I think they claimed that he got in on his own.
And it got released. Yeah, that was the story, I think.
Yeah. Very exotic look for Balloon Boy.
Is it? I don't remember what he looked like before.
Well, I don't think I ever knew what he looked like before, but he's definitely almost looks like he's visited other worlds himself.
I think he's in a band. I think that's his new pursuit.
It's crazy. He has 2 Adam's apples.
Whoa, is he from this planet?
I'm not sure. I'm not. Also, Balloon Boy's dad has an interesting look, like the look of a person that would send a kid up in a metallic UFO.
No, not send a kid. Claim he sent a kid.
Oh, wait. It was a hoax?
It was a hoax, yes.
So there was no kid in the balloon?
Yeah, it was all an opportunity to gain fame. That's all it was. No kid was in the balloon. They staged it just so they could get attention, and the family is still out there seeking attention. They just don't know how to do it in the world of smartphones.
Yeah, it's more difficult for them, but for someone younger and more,
supple.
Yes, more supple. It's easy.
So Balloon Boy has a band, as I believe Deni mentioned, and that he titled one of their first songs Balloon Boy No Hoax. Which
sounds like, I mean, it's catchy.
Yeah, but are they saying it was a hoax or saying it's not a hoax?
Deni? I always heard it was a hoax.
Yeah,
he was not in that thing.
Yeah, Miriam here says that
the ABC News story. 10 years later, Balloon Boy and his family still denounced the idea it was a hoax.
Oh yeah, you have to stick to that line. Once you start telling the cops that line, you are now dedicated to that line until the day you die.
Yeah, so that police thought it was a publicity stunt, and the family is saying that no, that is
if you look at the family and where they are now and where they were then, it's obvious that it was a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
They're like, this is their breast cancer awareness play back then. Not a hoax.
What's their cause?
No, there is it was a cause for concern. That's what they're saying. That it was not a hoax. This was a cause for concern.
Yeah. Amazingly, they never took Balloon Boy away from this family.
No, I mean, the state was probably like, it's more paperwork than it's worth. The best way to, make them pay is to have them keep this kid and the kid stay there.
Yeah. And then the Balloon Boy's name is Falcon also.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's ahead of his time for sure.
That's rad.
Nowadays, there's lots of Falcons being born every day. I mean, you walk along up and down the West Coast, and you're going to bump into probably like 30 Falcons under the age of 5 in half an hour.
30 Falcons. Okay. All right. Let's get ready to head on over to DBH. But before we do that, let me take a moment and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. Those are our friends over at the Purple Mattress who know that a good night's sleep is super important. If you spent the night tossing and turning, you could cause pain and stress. You definitely won't be feeling as good as some of these narcissists that we were talking about are feeling. If you have a stiff neck
feel great.
Or back pain, Tyson could tell you all about what that's like to have back pain. Not good.
Crippling back pain.
Crippling back pain. Not good. So if you're struggling to get a good night's sleep, try out the Purple Mattress. The founders of Purple are two brothers who were developing cushioning technology for 30 years on things like medical bed and wheelchairs, while Falcon's dad was experimenting with UFO material to try to send his kid up into the sky. The founders of Purple were deciding to use patented comfort technology to create Purple, the world's most scientific mattress. Purple mattress is going to feel differently than anything you experienced before because they use a brand new material developed by an actual rocket scientist, not Falcon's dad. And it's not like the memory foam that you're used to. It feels very unique because it's both firm and soft at the same time. So it keeps everything supported while you're still feeling comfortable. Plus, it's breathable, so it sleeps cool. You'll end up giving this. If you end up giving this zero gravity like feel, you'll find out that it works in any sleeping position as well. 100-night risk-free trial. If you're not fully satisfied, you can return your mattress for a full refund backed by a 10-year warranty. Free shipping and returns, free in-home setup as well. Plus the old mattress removal. You're going to love Purple. Right now for our listeners, you can get a free Purple pillow as well with the purchase of a mattress. That is in addition to the great free gifts they're offering site-wide. Just text ROB to 84888. The only way to get the free pillow is to text ROB to 84888. That's ROB to 84888. Message and data rates may apply. Yes.
I'm just going to say, whenever I shop for any products, I always make sure to see if there's a rocket scientist involved.
Yes, that's very.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt, right? Okay. All right. Deni, take it away.
Welcome to my bolt hole. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong.
Yeah. Don't play the song too fast.
I
That is my art that I created. I want to listen to it at
we should
regular
have sped it
speed.
up. We should have sped it up.
Yes.
See, look,
good.
if we sped up that song, it would not
Yes.
sound as seductive.
It's true. That is true.
It would lose some of its power.
But who are we to force people to listen to it at that powerful rate that we designed it for?
Yeah, just put it out and let the viewers and listeners decide. Okay, I've got 2 stories.
Two stories.
But I'm only going to go with one. I'm going to go with the more horrifying one since it is.
Is it
Halloween
about the
week.
haunted house?
Close to All Hallows Eve.
This is a story. You know, I always wonder about these labs. There's these labs all over the place. And in these labs, they work with deadly diseases, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's a source of a lot of books.
Who's working with these? Rocket
Governments,
scientists?
some
CDC?
rocket scientists,
Yeah.
the CDC. And
Okay.
they're out there and in their laboratories, they have horrifying diseases. And I always wonder, why do we keep these diseases around? There doesn't seem to be any point, but maybe it's good. It's just to have it, to prepare.
Yeah, but study them.
Study them. Well, this one lady was studying a smallpox-like disease.
Mhm.
And, you know, when they study these things, they inject the disease into animals, which is
Sure.
unfortunate for the animal. But she missed the animal and injected a smallpox-like disease into her
I saw
finger.
this.
Yeah. And the reason I brought this up, because it, for me, touches me a million different, it horrifies me a million different ways.
Touches you a million different
It
ways. is
touches
what you're
my
saying?
soul. I mean, yeah, I was trying to think how to phrase this.
Diseased finger isn't touching you.
First of all, the image of the finger
It's gross.
is very unsettling.
Let's see it.
All
right.
I don't know if we want to see this.
It's gross.
It's not good.
But remember I mentioned earlier about the House of Horror, the needle thing?
Uh-huh.
Needles are horrifying, especially, I mean, a needle that you know contains a deadly disease.
So
or
is
a
this
very
lady
bad
dying?
disease.
What's going to happen to her?
No. So luckily they, you know, she's at a lab. They know exactly what they injected her with. They got her to the hospital. They gave her all the necessary
I'll show it to you
treatment.
I'll show it to you real quick, Tyson.
It's gruesome. So
real quick.
warning.
Real quick. I'll give you.
I'll do it with
you can
one eye.
Avert
I'll
your
do it
eyes.
with-
Avert your eyes if you want.
Go.
Okay. All right. Here. Okay. That's
see for me,
Like
this
a hobo
is
spider bite.
this is a Halloween story because it touches on so many horrors that I have. The needle, the infectious disease, the laboratory filled with infectious diseases, and then the results, the anything that makes your flesh rot
Mm-hmm. It's
while
bad.
on your body. That's just a horrifying thing to me. This is a true Halloween story. If you had this lady just hold up her hands at she's got like a needle in one hand and then she's holding this up in the other, and she's at a haunted house, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
Don't get near me at all with that gross rotting finger or that syringe. Which
Should people go as this lady for Halloween, Danny?
Yeah. What would you call that?
Your lady.
Sloppy
So
lab
once she
assistant?
pricked her finger, she then proceeded to inject the entire syringe into her finger before she was.
She didn't even have to do that. That's the crazy. That's the most
pricked
disturbing thing is that all she had to do is prick her finger, and instead of falling asleep like in the fairy tales, she her finger begins to rot.
Wow.
She didn't get a splinter
I would prefer a splinter.
on a cursed. What would you call it? What's the thing? Spindle.
Spindle, yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. That didn't even happen.
Mhm.
So anyway, that was the story that really grabbed my attention, and I just wanted to share this with people and tell them that if you see a hypodermic needle, I don't feel like I should have to make this.
Prick yourself.
Don't pick it up or accidentally touch it to your body because you just don't know.
Why don't you expose your chest, and then we can say it's for hypodermic needle awareness.
Well, my chest wouldn't do anything. I think for me, I might be able to moon people for hypodermic needle awareness.
Okay.
That might be the thing to do. But yeah,
Colorectal awareness.
And the other thing too, guys, is if you're working in a lab and you're like some type of scientist, rocket or otherwise, be extra careful with those needles, man.
Yeah, right. You'd think somebody probably told a super funny joke right when she's about to inject.
I'd have 10 thimbles.
Simple, metal gloves.
Yeah,
that is a really good idea. You'd think that they would have invented a glove, like a chainmail glove, super tiny
needle-proof.
chainmail. Yeah, needle proof. But no, not at
what
this
do they
lab.
call it? Oh man, I wish I could come up with the name of it that was on like in the Hobbit book. Ethereal.
Ethereal.
or whatever the chainmail that's like ultra light. Imagine how nerdy I would have been if I would have just come up.
That would
with
have been
that,
awesome,
right?
Not nerdy at all.
It might be ethereal, and then I'm pretty awesome.
Well, that would be helpful. It definitely should consider. Oh, gross! I keep looking at that picture.
You can't
go back to the
look
World.
now.
I'm gonna go back to the World Series story.
Just end off on the World Series story.
Oh wait, I do have something to show you, Rob.
Okay,
but not me.
Well, you're just here, so you get to see it too.
It's for Rob, though.
Yeah. So my wife finished this costume,
mm-hmm.
and this. Let's see if I can make this show up. This is my kid's costume.
Oh wait, hold on. All right, so let's see. Dani is showing Pennywise.
Dude, is that really your kid's costume?
Yeah, Liz.
Is that Ollie?
My wife made that costume.
Is that Ollie?
Yeah, that's Ollie. That's my 7-year-old.
He is terrifying.
Yeah. So he had a piano recital yesterday, and he was super nervous, having never been out on a in public playing an instrument. And so all he did, and this made it so scary, is he was in his costume because it was a costume piano recital. He just stood on the stage while everybody came in because he was the first performer, and just stared at people because he was nervous, right? But it looked terrifying.
Was he as Pennywise?
As Pennywise, he was in that costume on the stage as everyone filtered in because he didn't know what to do because it was his first recital and he was the first person to perform, and he just stood there and stared at people while they came in and kind of like swayed lightly. Yeah.
Did you get videos of that?
Yeah, we got video of it, and so it.
Did you post it to your Instagram?
No. On Instagram, I don't want people to know I have a family.
Oh, because I'm telling you, that's going to get more hits and more Patreon subscribers.
Yeah, but I felt bad for him. I mean, it was hilarious. It's one of those things that happens to a kid that's both funny, but you also feel kind of sad.
It's definitely going to damage him for the long haul.
Yeah, he was not happy after the piano recital.
He wasn't.
He had all sorts of problems, like his little paper kept falling down, but everyone was laughing because of the costume. But how do you explain that to a 7-year-old? He thinks they're laughing because he's making mistakes.
Yeah,
but they're all laughing because it looks crazy that Pennywise is playing the piano.
That a little baby Pennywise,
a little
shredded on the it's tickling the ivories. Is that what they say?
Yeah. So he was unhappy.
Throne.
Yeah, he was very unhappy. But anyways, Rob, we're headed to your house. We got to leave right now. Though.
Why? Rob is terrified of Pennywise babies.
Clowns.
Yeah.
Rob hates clowns.
I don't like clowns. I don't like Pennywise. I had to watch the Leprechaun movie
nice.
for another podcast, and then I was showing it to my 3-year-old. He was not nearly as scared of the Leprechaun. I think
is that Jennifer Aniston?
Well, she's in the first one. This was Leprechaun 2, Dani.
I've seen the one with Jennifer Aniston.
Yes, they were. My kids were not scared of the Leprechaun either.
No.
Were you?
I think my brother was, if I recall, the mid 90s well enough. I think my little brother was actually terrified of the Leprechaun. I remember, like in the newspaper, like which was a piece of paper that we used to come to your house that would have all of the news stories printed on it.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I remember, I think my sister and I used to cut out the movie ads for Leprechaun and put it on the refrigerator to make him cry.
Yeah, I like that. That's really smart and also kind of bullying a way.
Yeah, old school analog bullying.
Yeah,
old school analog
not cyberbullying. No, it's just analog, regular analog bullying.
I like it.
Yeah.
But
no, I don't know. I don't know what kids are afraid of anymore.
My kid's not afraid of Pennywise. They watched the first It. My other two kids,
the original one, or the one that came out a couple years ago.
The original
one's hilarious. Dude.
Yeah, but 2 of my kids were scared stupid. But the one that's Pennywise, he wasn't scared at all.
Yeah, so I don't know if the kids are afraid of monsters anymore.
No, they've got the internet to terrify them.
They've got more real life.
Yeah, so
they got more real life issues to be scared of than monsters.
Yeah, so I think that maybe it's a net positive. They seem to be inoculated from monsters.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and they're only afraid of real, actual horrors.
Yeah, right. So
they're going on around us all day, every day.
So that's a good thing. It doesn't stop my kids from waking me up a million times a night, though.
Yeah, they pretend like they're not scared. That's what happened to me, Rob, after it. That's how I know the other two were scared. They woke me up a bunch. And I keep thinking I would be scared of myself. Like if it was between Pennywise or Dad, and I'm Dad in the scenario, I would much rather wake up Pennywise than me because I'm a real terror. But they're not. And my wife's like, "Oh, you're so mean to them." I'm like, obviously, I'm not mean enough because they'll come back for more 30 minutes later. So I'm obviously not that mean.
This is what you got to do. You got to dress as Pennywise and go to sleep. So when they come to be like, I'm terrified, be like, what are you?
That is such a bad idea. Now they're awake all night long. Oh my gosh.
Are you kidding me? That is the best. Or just sit in the hallway waiting for him to get out of bed.
It actually is a great idea, Tyson, is next time a kid knocks on my door because they can't sleep, to have a costume nearby, to put it on and be like, what do you want? But then all I've done is sentence myself to a night of staying up with a kid who is now terrified of everything.
We take Bergen every year to the Halloween store and just try on masks for like 3 hours just so she knows that all the scary things she's seeing on Halloween are just masks.
Oh,
good idea.
That I took my kids to the Halloween store, but like before it was like the first week in September, and that killed like 20 minutes. I was very happy.
Yeah, but you try on all the scary masks with the kids, and then they just are like, "Oh, there's nothing to be afraid of."
Okay, good. That's what kind of a therapy is that? Immersion therapy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Tyson. Thanks for that heads up parenting technique.
Okay. All right. Deni, anything else to cover today?
Nope. I've shared everything. I'm depleted.
But can I challenge you, Deni, to get a horrifying mask by your bedside?
Okay.
And just
how about this? I will do it. I will even film it and I will show it to you, Tyson, as long as that happens before 12 o'clock. Because after that, it's just all bets are off. I'm not going to be in a position or in a mood to put on a costume when a kid knocks on the door.
Deni, what candy are you most excited to steal from your kids?
I actually like the little candy bars. If there's hot tamales, heck yes. You guys know my love for hot tamales. I already have a box in my car right
I think that's child abuse to give hot tamales out on Halloween.
I think it's great because it's the kids always like, oh, candy. They pop it in their mouth. They're like, this isn't candy.
It is candy.
Yeah.
It's candy.
It is candy, but lots of little kids will be confused
I'll
by
be throwing out all the candy corn, or at least piling it up in the yard and burning it.
Really? I'll eat. If it's got sugar in it, I'll probably eat it.
Do you want me to mail it to you? All the candy I don't want my kids eating?
Sure.
Okay.
Mail it to Tyson.
Okay. Fine. I'll video you. I'll send videos of me eating it.
You're going to do a mukbang candy corn video.
Oh, and circus peanut.
That actually is a good idea.
Very festive. Tyson, are you going to wear a costume this year?
Yeah, we're going as the Bat family.
That's right.
Bergen just decided she wanted to be a bat, not Batman. She wanted to be a bat, and we all decided, and she wanted all of us to be bats. So I ordered a bat costume on Amazon. It's just a bat onesie, but because I'm upset at Amazon for destroying local business, I'm going to return it the day after Halloween.
Good.
I'm going to go as World Series flashers.
Oh, that'll be sexy.
Yeah, very topical. Very good.
Smart. Deni, I see a lot of stories today about how the internet is turning 50. Are we buying this?
Oh, yeah. I'm buying it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
50?
Yes.
50? That means 1970.
During its inception. Yeah, exactly. That's when it was started as like a way for people to share information, if I remember correctly, research. It was, it's that old. Why can't
I mean, for real?
Yes, for reals.
And Al Gore was old enough to have that idea back then.
It wasn't the internet as you understand it right now.
Yeah.
Right. But it still was the internet in that
I don't understand it now.
It connected remote locations and allowed people to share data.
Okay.
Fine.
Guess so.
Oh, what was that guy's name? Yeah, I saw him in the news.
Al Gore.
That's probably why. No. It was a guy I believe who worked at
Alan
CERN.
Gore.
Who works at CERN. So, yeah, happy birthday, internet. Thank you for bringing so much pleasure and so much pain
to everyone.
You've been a real mixed bag.
One brought you pleasure, one brought you patience, one brought you pain.
Yep.
All right. Tyson, anything else that you want to say today?
Happy birthday, Rob. I know it's a few weeks past. Did we already cover it last week?
You tried to, and then Rob changed the subject.
Oh, he did?
No, well, I was, I had, my birthday was fine, but then one of my kids threw up in my car, and it was really, it was a sore subject for me. It was a buzzkill, and then my wife yelled at me because
in your Lamborghini Countach.
No, but then my wife yelled at me for being. I didn't yell. I was just like devastated, and she yelled at me for
you had to clean it all out.
Yeah, no, but you know, it's just if anybody throws up in my car, I'm going to be very sad.
Okay. Like heartbroken sad or like angry fuming sad?
No, like heartbroken. And then I was getting yelled at for being sad.
Okay.
Jeez,
I get
dude.
it.
Yeah. Wow, that's a rough birthday. Should have gone to Arizona. Tyson would have treated you the way.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do? Well, it's water under the bridge.
I'm sorry to add up.
Yes.
Good. And also, Rob, I hope you escape all those fires. It looks like in the entire state of California is burning currently.
It's very scary. We were without power for the entire day on Thursday, where you know, it was like you know, that you'd heard about different people experiencing that, but then when it's actually happening at your house, it was really rough.
We have almost too much power over here.
Yeah. We're not in any imminent fire danger.
Good.
Good. Not yet. What about smoke? Doing okay?
Doing okay. There was more smoke from the fires from last week. The ones that are currently going on are not affecting us over here.
Okay. Well, you're in our hopes and prayers, and unfortunately, that's all we can do for you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for thinking of us.
And I think Danny's going to go around the rest of the day and expose himself to just raise awareness for the fires.
Rob's situation. Smoke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awareness.
Yes. All right. Great job, Danny. Great job once again, Tyson. Tyson, you do any reviews?
No, I tried opening it. The new podcast thing is kind of dumb, so I'm just going to forego it, and I will get to it next week.
All right, we'll get to it next time. Thank you guys so much for watching us this week. We'll be back next Tuesday with more News AF. Thanks again to Scott St. Pierre for putting this all together. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
We did it, guys.
Okay, and we are clear. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.